is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, everybody, what is up? And welcome back to another episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party for May the 12th, 2024. My name is Jeremy Lee. Welcome, everybody, to the show. It has been, as they say these days, it's been a minute since we've done one of these. We've had some travel in our calendar the last few weeks for sports card related events like the Sports Card Expo in Toronto and Edmonton, but we are back, and let's bring out our co-host, Mr. Joshua Madigan of the Hockey Cards Gongshow. Josh, I've missed you. Well, I could say I've missed you. I've missed seeing you in this environment, but luckily I got to see you in Toronto a couple of weeks ago. So how's it been since you got home? How's everything going on the home front? How's it going getting back into your normal routine with the podcast?
Everything's going amazing. First, I got to say to all any mothers watching or there, it's Mother's Day in Canada too, right? I never know how our holidays align.
It is also Mother's Day in Canada. Yes. And I echo your sentiment. A happy Mother's Day to all of your, if your mother's watching, to your mothers, to your wives, your partners. Happy Mother's Day to everybody for sure. Lovely day in all of North America, Josh.
There we go. Yeah. Well, it's such a stereotypical idiot American that we only know about us, right? We can't bother to learn anyone else's. So I apologize for that. It's been good. The Toronto Expo is amazing. Had the best time, best hobby experience I've had to date. And I think there's pretty much good vibes going all around. So I don't know. I haven't run into anyone that said they had a bad time there. And I know you were in Edmonton. I caught some of your show last night, which was very good and entertaining as usual, where you're recapping the Expo. And so it just makes you want to go back. It's like 6 months feels like a long time now, man.
It does. It's funny. Every time when the Expo ends, the countdown starts until the next one. Lucky for me, it ended. Then next weekend, I got to go to Edmonton. So that was last weekend. What a great back-to-back pair of shows those were for me and anyone else I know that was at both of them. We all had a great time. The Montreal Expo is coming up 2 weeks from now. I'm now going to be going out to that one as well. So back to back to 2 weeks off to back. And then it's the road to the National after that, coming up in Cleveland here at the end of January. But yeah, man, glad to hear that you guys had a great time. It was great seeing you there, and you and Troy, of course, and all of the community that you guys have built. And it's just nice when you've all these different groups come together and 100%. Expand the circles, and it's really a nice thing for sure. And the Florida Panthers just beat the Boston Bruins tonight, so they're now leading the series 3-1. Congrats to the Panthers. I called it, even in my daily fantasy today. I didn't take any Bruins. I took a couple of Panthers, but I went heavy on the Oilers tonight. I think the Oilers are going to win another one tonight against the Vancouver Canucks. That game starts momentarily, so by the time we're done this show, it'll probably be in the second intermission, sure. And I'll get to go watch the third period of the Oilers and Canucks tonight.
I kind of feel like the Panthers are the Miami Heat of the NHL, that the regular season almost doesn't matter. You just know that come playoff time, they're going to take it to that whole next level and be pretty tough to beat. And actually, if it ends up being Rangers Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals, who do you got?
Oh, Rangers Panthers is so tough. That's my call. I mean, I think it's going to be the Rangers Panthers. So with that said, oh gosh, it's you've got Bobrovsky, who is truly an amazing goaltender. I know he's up again in the state of Florida. You've got Vasilevsky, who's another an all-timer. Now you've got Bobrovsky, who I think won a Vezina Trophy ever before Vasilevsky was even on the map. So. Mm-hmm. And then you got Shesterkin on the Rangers, who's another great goaltender. They both have firepower. I might, it's going to come down to goaltending. I think it'll come down to goaltending in that one. And I don't know. I can't pick. But if I have to pick a team, my heart would go with the Panthers, but I would pick the Rangers with my head. How about you?
Very close to that. Like, I'm heart Panthers, hobby Rangers. I think it is kind of weird at times how lack of a hobby presence theirs is. It seems like, given the Rangers are an original 6 team, largest media market in the United States, probably most important media market, arguably with LA. But yeah, so I think for the hobby, it'd be really good for them to make a deep run.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, well, they've never had a huge superstar. They had Wayne Gretzky, they had Mark Messier, amongst many others. They've been all right. Lundqvist is a Hall of Famer. So it's interesting, man. Like, I don't know who's going to come out of that, but I think for hobby wise, which is kind of where my heart, I do like the Panthers. I like a few of the players there. Hobby wise, though, yeah, I think it's good almost either way. Because the Rangers is an original 16. Now, Lafreniere, I mean, this guy's scoring clutch goals all through the playoffs right now. I'm happy to see this guy finally get we're seeing it. I think we're seeing an uptick in the price of his card, so that's good, as it should be. Jacob Dahl calls out Brian Leach of the Rangers. Yeah, he's definitely an all-time great as far as defenseman and U.S. born, one of the best U.S. born players of all time. So very interesting though, Josh, and you're right because they never had like that Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr back in the old days. They never had Wayne Gretzky in his prime, and so who's their
original team? Like, Wayne Gretzky will always be more known for being an Edmonton Oiler than a New York Ranger. Messier maybe Messier still probably would more identify with Edmonton, but it's closer though.
But he did captain the Rangers to the Cup win in '94. That was legendary, So I think Messier can be identified with both teams. Where Gretzky, I agree, no one really thinks of him as a Ranger. They think of him as an Oiler or an LA King. So, but thanks for that. Jake Dahl says, "Gotta log into the site and check out the listings." Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna put the affiliate link into the chat right now, guys. If you do plan on bidding on anything on the PWCC Weekly tonight or any night, please take that link. I just put it in there. If it's not clickable, you can just copy and paste it into a new browser, and that'll allow you to. And it doesn't cost you anything to do it. It'll earn SCL a small commission. And again, as I say, it's it's not huge, but it's important that it does show that you guys like what we're doing here to PWCC. Appreciate that. Hobby Champs is winning one hockey auction right now. Not going well. You got time to bid more. Hobby Champs, welcome to the show. Professor, good evening. And thank you for the reminder to kick in the Instagram feed, which I have now done. So thank you, Professor. And to everybody watching on Instagram right now, feel free to come over to YouTube. The viewing experience is that much better. Hobby Champ says Oilers, Panthers, Avalanche is the order I'm rooting for right now. Yeah, I'm Oilers first as well. After that, it gets a little more convoluted for me. Jacob Dahl calls out Rod Gilbert, Jean Rattel, and Eddie Jacquemin as well for the Rangers. Yeah, but those are like their second tier kind of guys across the board. If that, when you're talking about like hobby, not even second tier hobby. And even just Hall of Fame level. But I hear you, Jake, you're calling out their best players of all time right there. Bobby, good evening to you. I might lose my mind after that game tonight. Hope everyone, sorry about the loss for the Bruins tonight, Bobby, but I wasn't expecting them to win, especially with Marchand out today. And now they're down 3-1. It's going to be an uphill battle against the Florida Panthers. But Bobby, I wish you good luck. All right, Josh, anything else from you before we start looking at these auctions tonight?
Nope. I just say sorry, Bobby. If you need a welfare check, we'll call it in.
All right. Well, and yeah, Bobby, we got to meet at this Sport Card Expo in Toronto.
Great guy.
What a just a jolly guy, just a nice guy to have around and hang out with. And he's a big Bruins fan, which wasn't going over so well amongst all the Leaf fans at Jack Astor's the second night we were there, I don't think. All right, let's get to it, guys. We've got, I think there's about 250 items in the 221 hockey items in the auction tonight, and we are sorted. We are Sunday weekly auction number 121 is ending tonight. You can already on PWCC go take a look at the items ending next Sunday should you want, but we are focusing on this one. We've selected our favorites. We got 55 out of the, again, 221 auctions that we are going to be watching. And Josh, I want to say hello to a couple more people in the comments, but before we do that, let's take a look at these top 3 cards. We've got 2 1911 C55s, and we have a 1954 Topps Gordie Howe. I want to look at these cards because they both grade out of 5. And so let's have a look at the Barney Holden and the Henri, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm going to say Dallaire, just to keep it simple. There's the Holden. Oh, that's a nice copy. I think PSA 5, the EX, I'm not going to argue with that. The corner wear is what you would expect. Pretty much across the board. Centering is good, not perfect. Surface looks nice. That's a nice 5. This copy would actually be very welcome in my set of C55s. I don't know if I have a Holden, but it would definitely be, I'm going to have to check that. It would definitely be welcome. And the Bobby Brill, you out there, you know how to pronounce this guy's name? Henry Dallaire. I want to say Dallaire. I don't know. We'll go with Dallaire. Henry Dallaire, PSA 5 as well. The corners look a little bit stronger on this one to me than the last one, and the centering perhaps a little bit of tilt, a little bit high. Common on these 1911 C55s. Nice copy though. This one would also be welcome in my collection.
Does that one have a little tilt?
There is a little bit of tilt there. Yeah. You can see the tilt. You can see that it's wider up here against the hockey stick motif than it is as it comes down, and then it's wider at the bottom and it narrows as you come up here. That's what you're looking at, Josh?
Yeah,
definitely a little bit of tilt here on the Dallaire. So we have those two. I like both of those. And then we've got the 1954 Topps Gordie Howe. This is a Mount Rushmore card according to the PSA Mount Rushmore set registry that was done. That's done years ago. Nowadays, I think they'd probably take this one off and put on the 51 Parkers. In any event, this is a PSA 4, and at a distance, it looks pretty nice. The centering is good. The bottom corners, of course, have wear. You can see the white happening, but then as you kind of really look and you look at his face, you are going to see there's a blemish right in here. I think that's on the card right there. You also have a bit of staining right here, a couple of black spots. So if you can get your head around those things, centering's good. The overall image is nice outside of the blemish just to the right of his eye up there. But let's have a look at those bottom corners. Yeah, I mean, this is a 4. So that's kind of where you're going to be. And it's not that bad for a 4. There's definitely worse 4s out there. Josh, what were you thinking as we were looking at these 3 cards?
Well, actually, when I look at the 2 C55 examples, like if you're a set collector, and this is actually something that I think I got from you or got in my head from you, is I almost look at this type of condition for this card and this grade as almost the ideal sort of collecting grade. Now, granted, if you have a PSA 9 George Vezina or something like that, your bank account is going to love that. But would those even feel authentic at that point? Is there something to the, it's too nice, which is totally foreign as a collector almost to say. We're so used to an ultra modern, everything being perfect, pristine, and gem mint. But these cards have such great eye appeal. They've got that little bit of wear on the corners that makes them just feel like a 115-year-old card or whatever they are. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that I've heard you talk along these lines before, and I'm starting to agree that if I were to build a collection of this set, that this is kind of an ideal sort of level of condition where the card looks amazing and it also looks authentic too.
Yeah, great. I agree. I think that these are the sweet spot, and that's why when I started building my C55 set, I had the rule as PSA 5 or better. And then as the years have gone by, I'm not going to stick to that anymore. I'm going to want cards that to me look like they should be in EX condition or better, and how with eye appeal thrown in, because eye appeal is somewhat different than technical grading. And so but from a budget perspective, when you go from a 5 to a 6, it's a big leap. And when you go from a 6 to a 7, it's even a bigger leap. And if you're thinking of 7 to 8, I mean, the 8s barely exist. So these 5s, even 4, like I would happily add a nice 3 or a nice 4 to my collection if the technical grade is correct, if PSA got it right on those grades. So these are wonderful. I have both of these cards in my set already. I just checked, so I'm not going to be playing on these tonight. But look, $290 each. I think that I don't know where they're going to end. I think that's really good value right there. The Gordie Howe at 6 1/4. Josh, any thoughts on this card? What did you think of it when we kind of zoomed in and saw some of the blemish compared to the rest of the card?
The blemish on the eye is that puts me out on this card. Just personal preference thing, and we talk all the time. It's trade-offs, lower grade cards. That's a trade-off that would be tough for me to get past. But this is a card that's such tough grade usually that it's obviously one of the more iconic cards in the hobby, and you're gonna have some sort of trade-offs. But there are a lot of really nice aspects to it as well.
Yeah. No, agreed. And I think it's fair to call out this eye blemish here and say that, because in cards, and especially in vintage cards where you see surface damage after all the decades have gone by, one of the most offensive areas of the card to have a blemish is on the player's face. That's kind of the number one place you don't want it. Unfortunately, this card has that, so you have to really like the other aspects of it if it's going to make it into your collection, I would say. Okay, before we go to these ones, let's just say hello to Todd McDonald. Always loves finishing up the weekend with a show. Thanks, Todd. Always nice to see you. Nice to meet your son as well at the Expo. Lapper in the house. Lapper, I want to shout out Lapper for a moment. Oh, I can't do it. I can't show what I wanted to show. We'll have to do it next week, Lapper. Now you don't even know what I'm talking about, but now you got to show up next week too. Hobby Cham says, I set my final bids about 5 hours before the close, and I'm done bidding. Whatever I want, I won. I very rarely play the bid war game. I guess it just depends how badly you want the cards, Hobby Champs, and if they are, readily available and that sort of thing, and really what you're buying them for. So I'm sure you know what you're doing, and good luck with the one that you're still in play on. Jeff McMahon, good evening. 2 Cent Hockey Cards, good evening to you. Penguins Collector says, super high grade pre-war, definitely raises questions. Yeah, right. Like you think? Yeah, for sure. That's why I like my vintage to look vintage nowadays. The grade on the slab is, I won't say it doesn't matter. There is importance to that for me, but it's about the card and feeling that it's a good card for sure. 90s agrees. Yeah. Josh Adams, who was on with me last night on SCL. And Brett S says the SCL live stream, a good way to start a Monday morning. There you go. Thank you, Brett S. All right. These 3 cards here, Josh, 1968 O-Pee-Chee Stan Mikita base card, PSA 8. Like if this was a lower grade, we wouldn't look at it, but these 68 O-Pee-Chees are tough to find centered for any player. And not that this one is centered, it's definitely off center. But other than that, what it isn't is on tilt, not poker on tilt, sports cards on tilt. These cards you look at the Bernie Prance, the Gordie Howes, the Bobby Orrs, they're always tilted. This card it looks like it's nice and straight, and I love that about it because that is super rare. That is a scarce way to find it. So I like this card in the PSA 8 holder. I think it's graded appropriately, and just the corners, the edges, the color. Let's just take a quick peek at it. Look at this thing. Yeah, this is just beautiful. It's what is it? It's an 8th year card type of thing. Doesn't matter. It's a beautiful Stan Mikita. And then we have a Vladislav Tretiak, 1971 Swedish hockey. I believe it's a sticker. It might not be. I almost want to, let's open this one up, Josh, and have a look at the back and see what, I forget if $850. Yeah, this is definitely a sticker, a Panini sticker from 1971. And I'm not sure what is actually Tretiak's rookie card, but some people might consider this to be it, unless he had an earlier Panini sticker. This is the one that people might consider to be his actual rookie, like internationally issued rookie card. And it's pretty cool. It's only a PSA 6, which is interesting considering it's already at $850. Let's just take a quick look at the card itself and zoom in. And if you don't know, like Tretiak never played in the NHL, but he had an illustrious international career for the Russian team and is a Hall of Famer as well. So pretty cool piece. It's a nice looking copy right there to me. Finally, in this row is the Sportscaster. I believe it's the Italian Sportscaster. Where'd it go? Here it is, the Italian Sportscaster. Oh no, just the regular one. BGS 9.5. Pretty good condition for one of these. I don't really consider this to be a card myself. I don't know why. It's just too big for what I think, how I think of cards, but I know that I'm certainly that's not the general consensus. I think some people do, and these are highly pursued by people. It's from 1977 to 79 when they were issued, and kind of cool. You know, I say kind of cool, but I'll also say it's not something I've ever coveted for my own collection, but people do love them. Josh, where do you fall on this Gretzky Sportscaster? And if you want to talk about the other versions of it as well, you're welcome to, as well as the other two cards, please.
Yeah, it's not my thing, which is kind of weird because I kind of like oddball type stuff. I think it's the size. And I honestly, too, have not done enough probably research. Like I know very little about it. I know that there's the Italian version, and it's either is it the Swedish or Finnish version? Is that the other
Italian, I believe.
Isn't there a Scandinavian one too, though?
Oh, yeah, I think there's a Finnish one too. Sorry. I believe so. Yeah.
So again, I totally don't have much to add other than you do. They're very, much sought after. And if you're looking, there's not a lot of options in this OPG in 1979, and there is the Tops. And so where there's thousands of rookie cards today. So it's kind of cool in that respect. The one that's really interesting to me is the Tretiak. Given he's, especially for a goalie collector, maybe the biggest what if case in NHL like lore, right? Like what if he actually came over and played? And there's really not a lot of options to, like, a lot of it's like postcards that you typically see. And so, I think that if you're a goalie collector or you PC Tretiak, that this would be a very interesting listing. And because I don't think we've seen this in the year plus we've done this show.
Yeah, I've seen one or two of these or something very similar, like ever at auction where I've been paying attention. So this is a really cool piece. You called out the postcards. I think there's like I have the Beckett rookie card guide that came, rookie card encyclopedia. The Beckett, I'm seeing it on my shelf right now. The Beckett Ultimate Rookie Card Encyclopedia probably came out. Well over 10 years ago, I bought that thing. And I was going through it. I think they list a 1999 UD retro set card as his rookie, something weird like that. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Like he
I don't like that.
In 1999, when the guy, was well done with hockey by then, playing at least. So to me, this would definitely be. So it also, when you're doing the Hall of Fame set registry on the PSA set registry, what card does it recognize? And that's the one that a lot of people want because they just want to compete on the registry.
Sure.
But to me, this is the much more special piece for sure. All right. And I'm just going to put the affiliate code in the chat one more time, guys. If you are bidding on anything in the auction tonight, please do copy and paste that into a tab and bid from there. Greatly appreciate that. Does not cost you anything extra and helps out the show. All right, next row, we have a 1985 O-Pee-Chee Mario Lemieux rookie SGC 8. We then have his 1990 Topps base card. We wouldn't, this card raw is 45 cents plus shipping, but you put it in a PSA 10 holder, and Topps being tougher than O-Pee-Chee that year, we're at $210. I don't know what the population is, but we're definitely going to check on that soon. And then finally, a 1993 Parkhurst reprint Gordie Howe True Auto at $115 right now. I'm going to open up the Lemieux, the O-Pee-Chee. Let's just close these other windows to save us some room up here. So we've got this SGC 8 Mario Lemieux rookie card. And first thing I see when I look at this card is I'm almost sensing a diamond cut on this. I definitely see tilt on the left side. This corner seems to stick out weird to me. I'm not sure if it's an optical illusion. Maybe it's got something to do with the SGC slab, but it's definitely wider down here, and it gets narrower as you go up here, wider up here, gets narrower as you come down here. But I'm sensing some sort of like non-true rectangle shape to this card. Outside of that, though, you guys assess that for yourselves from there. Let's zoom in. Edges and corners look very nice for an 8. Very nice. No issues with them. Surface looks, good enough for an 8. I'm not, by that I mean I can't see it perfectly well. Registration seems to be pretty good as well. Not sure what's going on in this area here. That just might be a weird digital issue on the image. I'm not sure if that's anything or not, but an interesting copy. I'd be a little leery of that potential diamond cut though. Not much to say about this Gordie Howe here. It's simply a reprint card that was where the autograph was certified as an authentic Gordie Howe signature. You can tell that it's a signature from towards the end of his time. I believe this does look like an older one of his autos to me. So there's that, but it presents pretty well overall. And then we have the Topps. And again, this is what 85, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is his 5th year base card from Topps. And if you're doing the Mario Lemieux run, you want this card, especially if you're competing for top rank on the PSA set registry. With that, I'm gonna unless you've already done it, Josh, I'm gonna turn it over to you for your comments while I check the population on the.
I have it. It's 24 out of.
Do you have
400,
total? Do you have total subs?
462.
24 of 462. That's all. That's like just over 5%.
Yeah,
that's a low gem rate. That's a low. Well, it's not low for the issue, but only 24 people can own a 5th-year Mario Lemieux base card from Topps in a PSA 10 holder. That's pretty cool. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, it is cool. If you're doing the Mario Lemieux run, a tough card to gem, you're gonna have centering issues, of course, and then any card where the border is designed like that is going to be susceptible to wear, and they were kind of thinner paper back then. We talked about the Gordie Howe too on our show a little bit. It's a very kind of conflicting card. It looks really cool, but then the more it's like you think about it, it is a reprint. There's a lot of these. Like if you do a little bit of sales research, I think he signed a fair amount of these. My biggest beef on this card actually is that they didn't print the date on the back. Which I don't like.
Yeah. So this was actually made by the newer Parkhurst. This logo here, this Parkhurst logo, it is licensed.
Yep.
If it must be. This Parkhurst logo reminds me of the logo that Parkhurst came out with when it re-entered the hobby in 92, 93, I guess it was, or did they come in 91, 92? When they came back with the brand in 91, 92, I believe it was a Pro Set issue, maybe something like that. I forget the whole history there, but yeah, interesting. I'm not 100% certain what this is, but
it was a set of reprints, and there's actually 4 Gordie Howes in that set. It was like a set of maybe, I think, like 38 cards or something like that, where you had the 51, you had the 52, and then maybe like the I know like the 1960, and there's another one in there. So it had kind of a list of the more popular players, and then sort of more their iconic Parkhurst designs.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense because it says PR 33, so probably like Parkhurst reprint or something like that.
Yeah,
33. So several of them in that set. It's still a nice version of a Gordie Howe autograph on something that is a full-size rendition of his rookie card. I think for that reason I like it, but okay. Robert Scott says the centering on that 89 Topps Lemieux is not 10 worthy. Let's take a closer look and see what we think about that. Yeah, I can tell right away that top border is pretty wide. But the bottom one, side to side, looks good to me, Robert Scott. Side to side is definitely 10 worthy, because remember, PSA has very loose standards for centering on the front of a card at 60-40. This is definitely 60-40, Robert, to my eye. And I'd be happy to be proven wrong by measurement, but that looks to be 60-40 to me. Top to bottom doesn't look far off either. I don't know, Robert Scott. I think it is. I think it is PSA 10 worthy. Is it 10 worthy for other grading companies? I'm not sure of everybody's standards. I do know at tag rating, it's 45-55 on the front. So this would probably not be 10 worthy with tag, but we've seen worsely centered 10s than this one before. So those are my thoughts on it. But Robert, appreciate the comment for sure. 86 says, I love seeing the North American collections. I think we're talking about the Sportscaster and the Tretiak. 2 Cent let us know the Oilers dropped 1-0, but shortly thereafter, Laura let us know that it was a tie game. It is now 1-1. Good evening, 90s hockey collectors. And Robert Scott says, I stand corrected with a close-up. Yeah, well, appreciate that. I'm glad we're back on the same page, at least, if nothing else, Robert. And Brett S. Jeremy, who was tallest at the Expo speaker panel? Me, Chris Sewell, or Troy Reich? That was funny. We had 3 of us, and then we had Ryan Johnson, card collector, too. So it went like 6.5 footer, 6.5 footer, 6.5 footer. You know, Ryan Johnson, like what, 5'8" or 5'9" or however tall he is. It was pretty funny. But Troy Reich is definitely the tallest of the 3 of us, and then I believe I am taller than Chris Sewell, if I remember correctly. But we did have that discussion, Brett. We did have that discussion.
Can I ask you a question since we're on this card really quick that I've kind of always wanted to ask is, and it's an impossible, it's more what your thought is. Why is there leniency on centering when it comes to a gem mint card and not corners and edges?
Yeah, I mean, maybe because centering is something that when these standards were written in the 90s wasn't as important to the hobby as it is now. I mean, back in the day, Josh, when I had my card shop from 91 to 94 or so, it was all about corners. That's all anyone asked. How are the corners? Like, you know, if there was a bad damage on the edge, people would care as well. But it was all about the corners, and centering was like, I don't remember people even talking about it back then. So maybe that's why, Josh. But should they change with the times? I mean, the times are changing. Should they change that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not. They'd give out fewer 10s if they did that, and that wouldn't be good for business. So, okay, let's go to the next row here, guys. We've got now, you know, I looked at this 95 Fleer Ultra Gold Medallion Iserman because they're very similar to the medallions that have come out in the most recent Fleer Ultra, right, Josh? They look really nice. The new medallions are amazing, and I think people are sort of sleeping on these new medallions, Josh. Like they're really nice cards. There's all sorts of maybe 6 or 8 parallels, and they get, you know, different numbers, but they're nice cards. I've got a Crosby, the platinum one up there, and I just love them. But this is what they're modeled after, and that's really cool. These cards wouldn't even be on my radar if it wasn't for the retro that came out, or the new release. And this is it's a cool looking card. You know, I don't think it's going to break the bank at $21 right now. Didn't mean to do that. Let's have a look at the card. See if we can see the color of it. It is gold. It's hard to see, but it's a PSA 9. Look how young he looks there, Stevie Y, with the Captain C on. Just a great looking card. And that's why I wanted to highlight it. We all, you know, speaking of these older Fleer cards, the 96 Metal Universe Wayne Gretzky base card. Now, it's only in a PSA 7 holder. You can get a higher graded copy. I more or less wanted to highlight this one tonight, Josh, to bring it to people's attention. You know, this is probably one of the coolest base cards of the 1990s. It's from the original Metal Universe hockey set. It's the very first Wayne Gretzky base card from that set. And if hockey had PMGs the way baseball, basketball, football did back then, or basketball and football did back then, baseball too, I'm losing my mind. I'm not even sure if they had that one or not. But in any event, if hockey had PMGs, this would be what it would have looked like, and this would be the card that those parallels would have been based on. And I just think that's cool. So I have a copy. I have a tag 9 copy of this Gretzky Metal Universe base card, and then in the middle we've just got a 96 Collector's Choice autograph Gretzky card, numbered 94 of 500. That's it. Just wanted to show that off because it's a Gretzky auto. Josh, let's go over to you for your comments on these cards.
Love the gold medallion Iserman, really cool card. And, you know, as you know, we do lots of record sale posts on social media. So we're kind of looking at in and out of sales all day long. And this is somewhat anecdotal, Jeremy, but I think over the last 2-3 months that the 90s have been some of the maybe the strongest segment in the hobby as far as kind of values and interests. And it's almost every day we're seeing some sort of we just had like a Wayne Gretzky grand finale from XPX that there's the Star Quest Golds have all of a sudden been going crazy. The game worn jerseys from 96 have been going crazy. And so, if you're not into 90s hockey or if you haven't taken the time to look into it, you really should because it's kind of amazing. And I'm talking more the latter half of the 90s. So from like 95 through 99 that, as far as like design goes, probably the golden age of sports card design.
For sure. Yeah, no, can't disagree with that. And yeah, I saw you guys on Instagram highlighted that the grand finale, finale. And I'm not a huge fan of that card. I prefer the Star Quest Gold. I prefer some other rare cards from back then, but that's just me personally. That's a very popular card amongst a lot of people. So I wasn't surprised. I actually, it went for under like $4,000. I could have seen it going for even more, especially after we saw the Star Quest Gold just sell the other night for it's like over $9,000 or something like that. Like it went pretty crazy.
Well, the thing with that grand finale is it's in like 15. Well, it's the only public sale I could find that was paid for in the last 15 years. Now it's a little bit of a nuanced sort of issue because eBay only goes back 3 years through their Terapeak system. But even on Card Ladder, so I mean that card like never sells. And I think sometimes when a card resurfaces like that after a long time, that maybe just not enough people kind of understand how rare it actually is.
Yeah.
Or you never know if how many people knew it was up for auction, that sort of thing.
BC Neal tells us it's 2-1 for the Canucks now. That's Brock Besser with his second goal of the night. And Chris Perkins wants to thank the Hockey Cards Gong Show for his interest in the atomic refractors. Those are, Chris, I can tell you, those are also, I don't know if they're a new love for me, but they're a love of mine. And I'm just looking over at my Steve Yzerman over there on the shelf. Love those cards as well. Okay. Let's have a look now, Josh, at the next 3 cards. We are, guys, by the way, we're 8 minutes into extended bidding. So 22 minutes until the 5-minute windows kick in. Right now, though, if a card is showing orangey red here at the bottom, as you see the clock ticking down, that means that they need a bid in the next 22 minutes, or those cards will sell for the price that we are seeing right here. We'll go through these ones pretty quick, Josh. We've got a Wayne Gretzky 97 Upper Deck autograph card, numbered out of 500, NBA authenticated. And I think that this is like I'm not sure if this is a pack pulled card or not. If anyone in the chat happens to know, or Josh, if you guys looked into this, I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's a UD authenticated piece or something. Maybe we should open up and have a look at the back. The back might actually show us a hologram or something like that. And it does show us a hologram right there. So I believe this would be an Upper Deck authenticated item, meaning that, these are not pack pulled, which is fine. Still a pretty cool looking card right there. We have this is also pretty neat, Josh. I mean, Ovechkin's rookie cards are from 2005 in the NHL, but this is a 2001 Russian Ice Ovechkin card, graded Gem Mint 10. I wanted to zoom in and see what he looked like because, if he's 19 years old or so, I'm guessing he was about 19 years old in 2005. So in 2001, what is he, 15 years old on this card? Like, you can see that's him in there.
Oh,
That's definitely him in there. Cards graded a 10. Noticing some fray on the edge right there, which it's just so noticeable against the blue border. But other than that, looks to be pretty nice. And again, I don't know anything really about this card. Josh, did you guys happen to look into this card at all?
We didn't. I was just looking at values. It looks like the last sale was like $690 US. So we're probably pretty close to that range with buyer's premium right now. I don't know if you give me the cert number real quick? I could look up pop count.
Sure. Yeah, it's 84718-727. And you can see here it says he's born in 1985, so he's like 16 years old in this. Hobby Champ does say here, Josh, it's Ovi's earliest and first ever card. First ever card.
Pop 22. So pretty rare out of 134 or 136 total graded.
Oh wow. Okay. So that is pretty darn cool. And it does look to be, I don't know. I don't read this language, nor do I know what all this means, but I'm seeing some logos, makes me think it's probably licensed as well, which is nice to see. All right, that'll be a pretty cool pickup for somebody. If anyone does pick this up, let us know. Be really curious to hear your thoughts on acquiring a piece like this. And we have a rookie year Sidney Crosby Beehive signature card graded 9.5 by BGS. The autograph grade's a 10. Then this is a pop 6 with 4 graded higher. Josh, we good to keep on going?
Yeah.
All right. A rookie year Ovechkin Ultimate Collection rookie. Really, really nice looking card here. BGS 9.5 as well with a 10 auto. A Glacial Graphs. That's a rookie year Ovechkin autograph again. When you compare these two cards, I do prefer this one because you can actually see the autograph well. Whereas on this card, this is an acetate card on a dark background, we can't see the autograph. But if you were to actually take this card and put it against a light background, you're going to be able to see that autograph really well. And we can't really show you that here with what we're working with. So keep that in mind, that this card is actually going to be nicer than what you're seeing here. But that said, it depends what the background is. And that's why I do prefer this card over here. It does grade out a 9 as well. And then finally, the 2005 Sidney Crosby SPX rookie card numbered out of 499 and then in an SGC 9.5 holder with the 10 auto. One color jersey swatch in the card right here. You can have the gold. I've seen some of these where it's the gold part of the jersey, which are my favorite version of his SPX rookie out of 499. But nice overall. Josh, any comments from you on these three?
Yeah, a couple quick comments on each of them. I'm a big fan of the Ultimate Ovi signatures, and to me, this card is really really from a design perspective. Number one, it's one of the few cards where it feels like there's a sense of motion to it, where just the way that Ovi is oriented and sort of the design flares that he's I feel like he's moving in it. And then it's also really unique to me in that he's actually facing away from his auto, and you very rarely see that in a card. Usually they're kind of facing inwards and looking at, and it just kind of makes it unique, but I think it works with this particular card, and the auto is very clear on it as well. And so I really like that piece of it. On the acetate auto, I was such a big acetate guy, and I think I'm actually refining how I look at acetate cards. It's I think now the acetate cards I like the most are the ones that have an acetate and foil component to them, almost like a Young Guns acetate, because the foil just really pops. When you get that rainbow foil on an acetate, and these pure acetate cards, you're right, they do look better in person, but maybe a touch dull. So if I had to choose, I think I'd much rather have the Ultimate rookie auto versus this one, but the Glacial Graphs is a nice card too. And then the thing I always think about the SPX, whether it's the Crosby or the Ovechkin, if you want it's not a patch, but if you want a really nice looking jersey auto on a budget for either Crosby or Ovechkin, I think this is one of the better options out there.
Yeah, you're getting a jersey versus a patch, and then you're getting a sticker auto versus an on-card auto. So because of those two things, and you're getting a print run of $4.99, you're going to be able to get it at a lower cost than the bigger, more valuable cards. Quite simple as that. So I agree with you. It's a nice, more budget-friendly way to get in on a Crosby, memorabilia autograph rookie card, or Ovechkin for that matter.
Great way to put it.
All right, continuing along, we've got that's actually a second year Crosby autograph. It's a Fleer Hot Prospect Autographs. One of the funniest insert names I can remember. It's called a autograph, everybody, a autograph. It's an SGC 9. The autograph grades out of 10, and decent looking card though. Let's just see. Yes, it is a sticker auto. You can see that. Yeah, it's definitely a sticker auto right there. We've got another Tretiak card. This is 2008 Upper Deck Masterpieces Brush Strokes autograph. These are on card autos. Really, really nice cards. I say that because I know a lot of people like them. I don't love this particular set for the aesthetic, but a lot of people love these. I actually like the Parker's Champions that came out in 2014, which was 6 years later. And I collect some of that, and maybe I just thought that was so nice that these don't compare to me. That said, very popular set among many people, so don't worry about what I like. And it is a nice looking card. The autograph is that a sticker? Maybe that is a sticker. I can't tell. I can't tell if I'm seeing a frame around a sticker there or not, Josh. Not sure, actually. I don't want to say one way or the other for sure if this is or isn't. I don't think it is, though. I don't think it is a sticker, but it might be. In any event, we've got a Tretiak autograph card here, currently at a value of $120. We're $155 on the Crosby here, and a rookie year Victor Hedman, the Cup printing plate autograph with the plate actually being from his Cup RPA. Oftentimes, something to be careful with. When you're buying printing plates from the Cup, they're not always the cards that printed out the Cup cards. They often put the cards that they use to print out other brands as well. And to me, the best of that selection would be the ones that they use to print out the Cup cards, the Cup base cards. So, Josh, anything to add on these three?
I think the Tretiak is really cool. I tend to just subjectively disagree with you. I really like the masterpieces. From my understanding, I think most are on card, so I would guess. But obviously, you want to examine or try to find other images to see if it's a sticker or not. But I'm guessing it's on card. And then the one thing I'll say about the printing plate auto for Hedman is I like, at least when I can get more behind printing plates, when Upper Deck does something to jazz them up a little bit, like putting an auto on it or something like that. The straight printing plates don't do much for me. And yeah, you're right. You have to look at what the origin is from. Like, I know sometimes you'll see Young Guns printing plates in the Cup and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think that's a cool one, a Young Gun one. I'm not a fan of a printing plate that is simply the metal. There's no paper backing to it. I have no interest in those for my collection. And speaking of which, like, I used to collect all the Dale Hawerchuk printing plates from all the Cup years, and I had tons of them. I probably had 20 of them. I had 2 complete sets of them. And when I was paring down that collection, I'm like, I don't, these are one of ones, technically speaking, but they, I've got better cards that I enjoy more. I don't really love these, so I'm going to let them go. And I did. And now I don't, in my personal collection, I don't own a single printing plate anymore after having like 20 of them going back almost 20 years. Well, back to probably 07 anyway, when I started collecting them. So, but I agree with you. It's nice when they jazz them up with an autograph. And then what they started doing was adding patches to them as well. Another layer of jazz right there, Josh. So I think that's pretty cool as well. Here's another one. So we've got 2 of them. You can pick up 2 of the 4 right now. This is the magenta plate right here, and this is the yellow plate right over here. $125 on each of them as we sit right now, which is $150 with a buyer's premium. A nice and somewhat rare 2013, the Cup honorable numbers, Jonathan Toews, numbered out of 19. Decent patch. You can obviously get more colors on a Blackhawks patch, but people are starting to forget that Jonathan Toews was one of the hobby's most popular players, hockey anyway, most popular players not that long ago. And, a card like this would have been a big deal before he, injuries took over and the Blackhawks went on the downturn, and he's now had to sit out a couple seasons, it feels like. So, but still, Toews is a guaranteed Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champ, international success, all that. And it's a nice looking card, this honorable numbers. And then we got a Nathan McKinnon, Young Gun, PSA 10. This is the one that has the error, the printing error. So in case any of you don't know what I'm getting at, if you look right here on his shoulder, you see this pink stripe coming down from the edge of the sleeve here, right up to the Avalanche logo. Comes all the way through here. That was a mistake. That was a printing error. And Upper Deck what they did is they basically recalled these ones. And I remember at the Expo one year, you could bring in your McKinnon Young Guns and they would swap them out for the newly printed ones. So this is the corrected error. So this is the error, but it was corrected. So there is a what I like the other version a lot better. I'd rather have a card the way it was supposed to look versus one with this sort of blemish through it. Josh, what do you think of those? Well, we talked about the Hedman. What do you have to say about? I think you might have more to say about the McKinnon, but I could be wrong.
I prefer the corrected version too. I kind of find the pink distracting. Quick question for you on Taves. So 5 years from now, do you think where is he? I mean, where's he in the hobby?
Well, I mean, listen, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame, so that will renew some interest. Chicago Blackhawk fans love Taves. They love Taves and they love Kane and they love Duncan Keith for that matter. You know, they even love Crawford, but they love Taves. So Taves I believe Taves will always have a hobby following. I know some serious Taves collector. One of them I've known for many years. He actually came by the Edmonton Expo last weekend. And I asked him, I said, are you still buying Taves? You still keeping them? Well, he goes, oh yeah. Like, so, you know, he's just one guy. I think he will have hobby love. It's obviously not what it once was. I mean, it's not even close to what it once was, but I could see him being someone that in the long run, we could see a bit of renewed interest, especially when the Hall of Fame is knocking on his door, which is going to probably be, you know, he'll be a Hall of Famer in his first year of eligibility. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer all day long. So I think we might see something there. And he's a Blackhawk original 6 team and all that. So nice card. Before we continue on, guys, very quickly, 8 minutes left in this window. 86, Bobby says it seems like tonight's auction theme is a Russian true collector. Maybe this collection comes from Russia. Maybe. 3-1 Canucks. Besser with a hat trick. I wish I took him in my daily fantasy. I did not today. CC, good evening to you. Says the Sidney Crosby SPX auto actually has more than 499 auto versions. There are Ray Whitney error cards that have the Crosby sticker. Yeah, but that's not the same thing, CC. I know what you're saying, but I don't think it's correct to say that the Sidney Crosby SPX so the auto itself appears on more, but yeah, Upper Deck erroneously put some of his autos on the Ryan, on the Ryan, not the Ray Whitney, it was the Ryan Whitney SPX card. But to me, those are just garbage, absolute garbage. Like, to me, those are the oddest of oddball errors, and they're not in the same 499. So I hear what you're saying, CC, and thanks for reminding me even to mention that, but I don't look at it that way as saying there are more of them actually. That's just a sticker auto on a Ryan Whitney card. And Cass99 says Tretiak Masterpieces looks to be a sticker auto. Can see the left edges of the sticker rectangle on the card. And that's what I think I was seeing. And to Josh's comment that most masterpieces were on card, yeah, except for when there's an exception, and this might have been one of them. Yeah, I'm sort of seeing it across here. When I zoom in, I don't see it as well, but you see you see that. Yeah, I think it's a sticker. I think it is. But I think, Josh, like you said, I think it's one of those rare exceptions in the product where they had to use a sticker. All right, guys, continuing along, we have a Leon Draisaitl OPC Platinum rookie auto, Pop 13 and BGS 9.5, sitting at $310. Across on the other side, we've got a McDavid Exquisite Gold rookie autograph out of 35. That's a really cool rookie year McDavid right there. That autograph looks to be absolutely beautiful. And while I'm opening them up, let's look at the Draisaitl auto as well. Yeah, streaky in there, as his autograph almost always is. So no big deal there. And on the Draisaitl, by the way, the subgrade, so it's not a true gem, just 0.5 less on centering. But yeah, that autograph is very nicely adhering to the OPC Platinum surface. And then finally on this row, a 2014 Ovechkin buyback from a 2011 Upper Deck card, numbered out of 13, numbered 3 of 13. And that's a really nice autograph of Ovi's right there. Look, right there, throwing the football on the ice. He's a little bit confused. He doesn't know if he's playing hockey or if he's playing football, forgets where he is. That's Ovi having fun. That's what we love about Alexander Ovechkin. Josh, any comments on these?
The Draisaitl one's really impressive to me because, as you kind of already mentioned, that's a tough surface to get a really clean auto on that doesn't seem very streaked. And so if you're a Leon Draisaitl guy, I think this one would be a really good one to look at.
Thank you very much. And let's try and get through some more cards here. We have a rookie year. This is a big card. Rookie year honorable numbers. Connor McDavid, BGS 9.5. I like that we're seeing two color patches there. You got orange and blue. You got blue, white, blue over here. Great autograph right over there. It's a 9.5. Corners coming in at a 9, which to me is A-okay on a card like this. This is a big card, guys. What was that? 7,200? 7,250 on this card right now. And yeah, that to me is a great card. We have his Young Gun, PSA 10 Young Gun. Not much more to say about this. Just fun to watch what these are selling for. And then we've got a 2015 Upper Deck Buybacks, Alex Ovechkin auto, numbered out of 25, number 20 of 25. And yeah, nice enough looking card. Autographs, at least he signed it between his legs against the white ice, which was nice. But, his top of the loops do come up into the hockey pants there. Look at this. 2 goals in his NHL debut, October 5th, 2005. How cool is that to be reminded that he had that? That looks like Alexander Steen making a cameo right behind him, right over there. Cards a mint 9. The auto grades out a 10. Pretty cool. Josh, your thoughts? I can understand if you don't have much to say about the McDavid Young Gun, but these other two must put some thoughts in your mind.
The honorable numbers appears to me to be a pretty big steal right now. So I'm looking at the last sale of one of the 97 copies, and it was another BGS 9.510, a True Gem Plus. So this would be another one in PWCC's Min Gem, but the True Gem Plus sold for $13,700, and it has a 1 color patch on the 9 and a 3 color patch on the 7. So, you have to do whatever calculus you use to kind of equate that out, but at $7,200 for a pretty big cup rookie, man, it just seems like a really good deal right now on this card.
Wow, thanks for adding that flavor and context to it. I couldn't have told you if it was or wasn't. It felt a little bit low to me, but you've now verified that. So thank you for doing that. Okay, let's keep on going, guys. We've got, look at this. You can pick up your pair of McDavid full force autographs. These were both coming from 2 different insert sets from the one time we saw the brand, I believe, 2015 full force. So you've got the 2 different inserts. We've got the goal insert right over here. It's kind of hard to see, but this says GOOOALL, maybe big goal. And he's celebrating a goal right there. Sticker is right there. Autograph is on a sticker sitting right over there. I've seen these cards in person. They're pretty cool. It's actually die cut. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this thing's actually die cut right along there. Kind of a neat card. And then we've got the immediate impact auto as well. Much more obvious that this is a sticker auto on this card, but it's still a nice looking card. It is also die cut down this way as well. So if stickers are something that you are not that are not on the excluded list for your collection, then these are a couple of nice McDavid opportunities for you. And then finally in this row, a gorgeous on-card autograph, Wayne Gretzky 2016 sign of the times Oiler jersey, BGS 9.5, True Gem Plus, auto grades at 10, pop 4, none higher. Nice card, 1,025 plus buyer's premium as we sit right now. Pretty good stuff there. Josh, why don't you speak about those 3, and then we'll go to a couple of comments that have, one comment anyway that's come in.
Yeah, I don't know much to say about the full force, except that, as you mentioned, it was the kind of set that was added in 2015 to probably add more McDavid content given the popularity of his rookie chase. And so, it's sort of like the rookie box set type category that these would be in, but still go for quite a bit of money, of course, just because it's a McDavid rookie year auto. And then on the Gretzky, there are so many Gretzky different. Troy has done this project where he's halfway through, and I think he estimates that there's something like 12,000 different Wayne Gretzky or Wayne Gretzky signed 12,000 cards or something like that. And it just speaks to how the crazy amount of options you have. For my money, this is one of my favorites. If I was just looking for a cool, nice, clean beautiful Wayne Gretzky auto, this would be one I would want to have.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It is a beautiful, beautiful copy. Chris Bowden says, does anybody know the deal with some of the 2015 McDavid honorable numbers being hand numbered out of 97 and some missing the numbering? How many copies are there, Chris? I vaguely remember this, and my understanding, and do not take my word for this because this is just how I'm remembering it, is that yes, there were some, and it was just like an error that they weren't numbered. I believe there are 97 of them. Some have the numbering, some don't. I don't know what that breakdown is. That's my recollection, but I would go for a second opinion on that if I were anybody who that was important to. All right, we've got a Connor McDavid 2018 Team Canada tribute patch auto, numbered out of 25, I believe. Yes, out of 25, sitting at 1375. I know that this is a very fun card that Billy Celio, the brand manager who did the cup this year, was very excited to do. He wanted to do this card. This was his brainchild. I think it's really cool. We got a Nick Suzuki PMG employee version from 2019, a rookie PMG, and an Alexis Lafreniere clear-cut young gun from 2020 in a PSA 10. And this guy is starting to show why he was drafted, I'll say, in the top half of the first round. I don't know how the rest of that class is doing right now, but showing why, that he does have some potential left. Josh, any comments on these?
Yeah, as an American, the whole Team Canada thing is always a little bit of a harder, I think, for us to wrap our heads around because we don't have sort of the national pride factor going into it. And so it's not typically something I would be interested in. I'd probably, if I pulled this card, I'd want to sell it to some Canadian collector that would really enjoy it. And, I don't know if you've noticed, Jeremy, they haven't built any Team America sets yet because I don't think there's been a lot to celebrate on our end. So
not yet, but
not
it's
yet.
Coming.
Maybe someday we'll have that dream, and that'd be kind of funny. I am a huge fan of the employee exclusive the purple PMGs. That whatever foiling they use on that, almost to a T, all the cards I just think look amazing. I have the Kaprizov rookie. One thing I noticed that and I think there's one in the auction later on, there's a Jeremy Swayman. They stopped numbering them this year, which I don't love now.
They did?
Yes.
Interesting.
So that's something if you're looking at the employee exclusive PMGs kind of, and the numbering conventions have changed over the years. That's something you have to keep in mind. And then, here we go. We got a relevant Lafreniere back in the hobby. So, hopefully he can kind of build on his success.
Louis, welcome to the show. Better late than never. Sorry about your T-Wolves. Okay, let's cruise through some. Okay, well, we have a Luke Hughes Young Gun PSA 10 sold for 174. We got a PSA 9 Bedard Young Gun sold for 372, and a raw copy sitting at 220 right now. A pair of PSA 10s have sold for $11.70 on this one and $9.90 on this one. I'd sure like to be the $9.90 guy, I guess. And another PSA 9 sitting here at $310. Here's a PSA 9 at $300. We have a Leo Carlson Young Gun, only a PSA 8 sitting at $8. And a Bedard 2023 rookie die cut tribute to the 94-95 SP set coming in at a PSA 8, sold for $19.20. That seems pretty cheap for any grade of any rookie year Bedard card. Josh, anything to say about the Bedards before we look at some more Bedards?
No. Well, actually, the one thing I'll say about the 94 die cut is this is a retail exclusive. I can't remember I think it's Walmart, and Upper Deck has used this I want to say 4 years in a row, and they, I actually don't mind the look of the card, but if it's going to be every single year, I think it really hurts it. And so here's my appeal to them to change it up.
If you are listening, you heard the request. Here is a Connor Bedard Young Gun clear cut. Is this it's a clear cut. It's a PSA 9. It's currently at $1,100. Two more of Josh's favorites, the employee PMGs. We got the Caulfield and the Byfield, the two fields. Hey, we got the two fields here. Which field are you playing in tonight?
So these ones are not numbered.
So let's have a look.
Look at the back.
I'm not doubting you, but I got to see that for myself.
No.
I got to see that lack of numbering for myself. And yeah, there it is. There it is. No number. It's usually in this box right over here. So interesting that they didn't number them for the first time, really. And that's going to turn off. I mean, listen, I don't collect employee PMGs. I have a couple in my collection, but I don't need them all. And if I was needing them all, I would probably still pick these ones up. But I think that's going to hurt their secondary market value. We also have the Lucas Raymond, the Moritz Sider, and the Swayman has sold for $252. The Zegras is still alive at $43. A couple of Bedard inserts here. We've got the UD Portraits PSA 9 sold for $21, and the O-Pee-Chee Glossy Rookie PSA 10 sold for $210. Josh, is the population of this card in PSA 10 trending upwards as fast as the Young Gun? I know the answer is probably no, but are they kind of marching in tandem as far as their own internal rate?
I don't think so, but I think that's a Target exclusive. I think it's a mega box product that comes out of, and I don't know what it's like for you guys up in the Calgary area or other parts of Canada, but there's been here in Minnesota, no retailers have Series 2. So I just think we cannot find anything as far as blasters or mega boxes, anything like that. So I doubt it. You're also starting to see too, traditionally 210 would be a lot for this type of card, but I think we're kind of beginning to enter the phase of somewhat rational pricing for Connor. 2 months ago, this would have gone for $1,200, which is all sorts of nonsense. And for any sort of other top level rookie, it's probably a $60 to $80 card. So given we're in the 210 range, I think that we're trending quickly towards, some sort of level of price rationality.
Yeah, well, 210 doesn't seem that bad to me. It's a pop 470. What are we at now? Last you checked on the Young Gun,
2,400.
2,400, so 470, so about a fifth of it or so. Yeah, it's a rarer copy. It's got the O-Pee-Chee branding on it, which is still important in
there
the hobby.
There is a parallel. There's a gold parallel to that too, so there's a little bit more of a rarer version to that. No,
SP.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And there it is. Speaking of the gold version, there it is, Josh, and it has sold in the PSA 9 holder for a measly $37.20. Yeah. I think you really nailed it when you said that we're moving towards price rationalization on Bedard, because we knew that those values would come down, but they might have come down even faster than I was anticipating. And it'll be nice for the buyers of these cards to know that, there's not much more further down that these cards can go. And I'm not saying that's the case right now at all, because I can't tell the future, but I know that if you bought it today versus, any time before today, you're better off. So, okay, let's do this. Let's go back to the top. Let's see what else is sold, because we've seen some of these items sell now. The McDavid Exquisite Rookie sold for $3,360. The Ovechkin Buyback Auto, $312. Draisaitl Autograph Platinum, $372. The McDavid Young Gun, $2,760. The honorable numbers McDavid, $8,700. Wow. Right there.
Hey, Jeremy, I think your audio is having an issue. Yeah, it's really Hi. I think you're.
Any better now?
Yeah.
Better? Okay.
Yeah.
All
Gremlin
right.
hacked your audio and was possessed for a minute.
Okay. So we're good now. We're good?
Yep.
We're good. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. The Gordie Howe auto sells for $150. The Mario Lemieux $276. The Lemieux SGC8 potential diamond cut sells for $660. The Tretiak $1,020 for the PSA 671 Panini sticker. The Topps PSA 4 Gordie Howe from 1954 $870. And the Henry Dallaire sells for $420. Josh, I'm going to hit refresh, push all the sold cards down to the bottom now. And let's see what we are. Oh, still plenty of cards alive. Look at that. So now just to run through the sold cards, the Dallaire, we looked at all these. We've seen all of these guys sell. Oh, the 192 on the Hedman plate, autographs 300, Tretiak auto 150, 192 on each of the Hedman plates, 3 1/4 on the Taves honorable numbers. And I think we saw, oh, look at that, 1650 on this card. That seems like a good deal to me. I know it doesn't have that appeal to the US base as much, Josh, but that seems like a pretty nice deal for me.
Nice looking card.
Yeah. Leo Carlson, Luke Hughes, young gun, 174. And then we're into the Bedards, which we saw.
Can we go back to the Tretiak sticker? I found out some kind of interesting info on that one.
Yeah, let's find where to go.
Up near the top. There you
Here
go.
it is. Yeah.
So I'm in Card Ladder in their sales history. Their top sale to date was in November of 2023. So last November, a PSA 7 sold for $300. That's an all-time high sale of any copy of this sticker. So for this to go for $1,000 is it's a big number.
It's a big number for sure. Wow. All right. So we are left with 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17 cards left alive out of 55 in the auction, you guys. And the ones with red are, they need a bid still to get into that next bid window. We're in the 5-minute window, so we're gonna see a few things still happen here. But we've got the Barney Holden PSA 5, the beautiful Makita 68 O-Pee-Chee card. I do love that one. We have the Sportscaster just got bid up to $2,000 for the Gretzky Sportscaster. The Yzerman gold medallion from 1995. It's at $29. 6 1/4 on the Ovechkin Russian ice card, his first ever hockey card, as we were told tonight. The Beehive rookie year Crosby auto is at $600. We just got a bid on the Sportscaster. That went from $2,000 to $2,400 pretty quick there, Josh. From 2000 to 24. Now it's at 25. We have a bidding war on our hands unfolding right in front of us. There it goes to 26 now on the Sportscaster. There's some action. Oh, and I don't know if you know, I'm not seeing those bids come up on the side anymore. Maybe they got rid of that altogether. I just realized we're not seeing the bids coming up at the bottom of the screen, which is nice to not see them. 27 now on the Sportscaster. This thing has gone up. What's that? 35% in the last couple of seconds here. Crazy. Okay, we'll come back to it. We've got the Glacial Graphs Ovechkin at 700, the Crosby SPX rookie jersey auto 12, and the goal insert McDavid auto at 675. Oh, Gretzky's up to 1175. That was like 10 1/4 last we looked.
Mm-hmm.
The Suzuki PMG employees at 110. This is a numbered version out of 250. Like with these PMGs, Josh, when they first started making them originally, I believe, were they out of like 85 or something like that? Then they went to 125, and then they went to 250. And how much further were they going to go?
I remember 175. I think I have the 2020 Kaprizov. I think it's out of 175. And was the first year of the employee exclusive PMGs, was that 2016 with the Matthews Marner?
No, there's a McDavid. There's a McDavid. And
okay.
I have it. Hold on. Yeah, so this is the McDavid 2015. and this is numbered out of 150. So,
Wow.
yeah, 150 on that one. The next year, this is the Matthews. It's numbered out of 175.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've just kind of gone up from there. Now the last I saw was 250, and now unnumbered. What is that now? And how many employees do they have? I don't know. I mean, are they gaining that many employees to put out these many more cards, or is it maybe they're giving them 2 each now? I have no idea. I don't really care how they're distributing them. I think they're pretty cool cards, and as long as they're making their way out onto the secondary market, they're pretty awesome. I mean, I've still got a couple right here.
Well, here's how I look at the non-numbered thing on that is don't like it for the 2023, but I think it helps all of us that have earlier versions that are numbered.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right for sure. The Professor has gone shopping tonight, everybody. First pickup for the Professor is that Jonathan Taves honorable numbers from the Cup out of 19. Also picked up the Gordie Howe Parker's reprint auto, which I think is a fine looking piece there. But congratulations on both the Taves. I give you even a bigger congratulations on though to the Professor. I love the honorable numbers, especially when they're out of like 19. Okay, we have more sales that have now come through. So we were down here. We're in the third of the third last 5-minute extended bidding window right now, you guys. And so we've got, these are still alive. The PMGs are all still alive, as are these, but we've lost to sale the Crosby SPX rookie sold for $14.40. The Ovechkin Glacial Graphs sold for $8.40. The Ovechkin Russian Ice first card ever sells for $7.50. The Makita PSA 8 Opeachy $132. What a buy. I mean, I don't know what the population is or anything, or comp. So that sounds like a good price to me on a Hall of Famer from 68 Opeachy. And the Barney Holden sells for $468. So let's hit refresh. We're probably down to about 12 or so cards still alive here, Josh. These three across the top, there's 3, 6, 9, 12 cards left to go in the auction tonight. And we're up. Oh, Josh, we went away from the Sportscaster and it's now up to 3,600. Remember, it was at 2,000. We saw it go to 27, and now it's at $3,600 on the Sportscaster. Josh, do you have any context to add on kind of like historical sale values of this thing?
Yeah, I've been looking a little bit, and I don't see any. It was at like a BVG 9.5 at that time, I suppose. Not a lot of information on Beckett. There was a PSA 9 that sold for $2,760 on April 21st of this year. And then the last PSA 10 was $5,000 last May 29th. So at the range it's at right now, like what, low 4,000s, doing sort of the typical Beckett discount on PSA. It's probably, doing pretty well as far as where you'd expect this card to end up.
3,600 as it sits right now. And we'll see where it goes from there. So how much time? There's a minute left right now, Josh. The Yzerman's going to go to the next bidding window. We know that for sure. Sportscaster needs a bid. I'm going to guess the Sportscaster is going to get a bid just because we saw that bidding war happen there. Although that might have just been one person chipping away at the highest proxy bid, and they finally took over. Maybe the last person had 3,500, and that guy, they bid 3,500 when the other bid was, say, 19. So they were at 2,000, and then they kept on bidding to beat that guy who bid 35. They get there. Now they're the leader at 3,600, and we'll see what happens. 27 seconds to see if that is what in fact went down. Or something maybe similar. It can sometimes be very hard to decipher what's going on when you don't know who's behind these bids. But there we go. 15 seconds. Yzerman does get another bid. We need bids on the Gretzky, the McDavid auto here in the next 8 seconds. Okay, yeah, we need a bid on Lafreniere, but let's watch the Sportscaster here. Final second. Let's see if this is officially sold now. And it has. So the Sportscaster sells for $43.20. The Crosby Rookie Year Auto sells for $750. The Suzuki sells for $115. Oh, sorry, that's not for sold. The Ovechkin Goal Auto $840, And the Gretzky Sign of the Times from 2016 sells for $14.10, and the Lafreniere Clear Cut Young Gun $504. And look at these employee PMGs are still kicking here, Josh. They're all still going. We're gonna refresh and get ourselves organized again. Let's go to some comments here. Dave Snyder, haven't seen Dave Snyder in a while, says, greetings from Buffalo. Still think you're way too positive, Jeremy, but you hold true on good content. You still think I'm way too positive. That's okay, Dave. We don't have to all love how each other, how we each live our lives, but I'm going to keep on living mine the way I do. And I hope you continue being true to yourself as well. The professor says the no tilt comment by Josh and your agreement helped me sway on the Makita. Hope PWCC is listening. Congratulations, Professor. He's picked up that. Professor, you know, when we end up meeting in person, if you come to the Toronto Expo and you bring some cards you want to sell me, that's when you might want to bring. Maybe I'll pick that one up off you down the line at some point in time. All right. We're seeing bids come in on the PMGs again. They're all green, well, except for the Caulfield right now and the Suzuki. But Yzerman is still going here, guys. Just under 3.5 minutes left in this bid window. And and Professor, you say you hope PWC is listening. If you are using the referral code, they are definitely listening to that. So I thank you, and I know you use it. I'm grateful for that for sure. So thank you very much. Josh, anything going on that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, two quick comments.
Yeah,
the Gretzky Sign of the Times record sale. The previous high was $1,275. So, very happy seller, I assume, at this point on the card. And then I just have a comment too that I thought of earlier this week, looking at the Trevor Zegras employee exclusive. Boy, what a difference a year has made in his hobby values, huh? And so if you're still on the Zegras bandwagon, or you think that, man, it's a very much a buy low opportunity right now.
Yeah. And
a year ago, Jeremy, that would have been the highest, with not even close as far as priced of all the ones that are available right now.
Yeah, and that to me is just really a sign of, following the hype versus following the expert analysis. I don't know any like hockey expert I remember who thought that Zegras was the next big thing. Like, yeah, he had a few nice moves, but he was never that great of a player. So I'm not surprised. I was never a believer in him from a hobby perspective or even just like an NHL impact perspective. That said, he can wow you with some of his moves. I mean, he's crafty, but I'm not surprised. And so you said it could be a buy low opportunity. It might be a buy low opportunity. I don't know that there's ever going to be it's ever going to change though. Just, that's kind of where I fall on Zegras currently. Anyway, the professor says, I liked a previous Hockey Cards Gong Show joke that Josh made about why Zegras is not signing autos because of his TikTok girlfriend. Professor consumes a lot of content. He can pull out some doozies from the past, Josh. Any response to what he's getting at there?
No, I don't remember what I said yesterday, so it's very hard for me to come. But I'm glad I made it that you enjoyed it, Professor. So that makes me happy.
Lapper says that the hockey market does put a lot of weight on World Junior production, and he had a great World Juniors. Sure. Yeah, that's what he'd done for them lately back then. So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, I personally was never a believer, but I wasn't shouting that from the top of mountaintops. I just didn't really care enough. I'm just not much of a rookie card guy. Or at least current rookie card guy. Anyway, I am a Steve Yzerman gold medallion kind of guy though, and this one's at $36 now for the PSA 9. Pop one of one, just one graded higher. That's pretty funny right there. Like a 95.
I looked it up when we were a little bit ago, and those were inserted. The gold medallions were one per pack back in 1995 Ultra. So I think that would hold back because people are always going to wonder, well, how many are out there, sort of thing. But I'm guessing it's pretty rare at this point to get a decent grade on one of them.
I think so too. I think for sure it's a tough card to grade, and you just don't see many of them out in the wild. I mean, I maybe saw 2 at the expo. Did you notice any at expo looking into showcases?
No, not of this card. No, it's pretty awesome though, and I'm totally on the same page with you. I've been buying a lot of just because I really like the look of them. Both the gold from 2021 Fleer Ultra, which are out of 200, and then I like the platinums out of 100 as well.
Yeah, yeah. They are some nice cards. Definitely.
Mhm.
I picked up the Nick Suzuki 1 of 1 black at the Edmonton Expo.
Oh wow,
And yeah, I'll
and
take
cheap
that.
too. Like you can, I think I bought a couple months ago. I had this little like infatuation with Clayton Keller. It's not that he's gonna, but I think I got like 10 of the golds for $2 a piece.
Yeah, cheap for sure. Okay, Professor finally picked up an Upper Deck employee purple PMG. Which one did you get, Professor? Did you get the Caulfield here that sold for $64.80? Or did you get the Suzuki for $138? Oh, I was mentioning Suzuki. I got the 101 black. I'm going to take that to the Montreal show with me and see if I can find it a good home over there. Cast 99, Josh and Troy's love of the Gretzky sign of the times made me pay top dollar. They also made me love the card even more. PWCC, take notice. Take notice.
I'm jealous of you, man. Congratulations, because I very, very much love that card.
Congratulations, Cast 99. That's a wonderful pickup, in my opinion, as well. So, as I just mentioned, Suzuki sells for $138, Caulfield for $65, and that we are now going to refresh again, and we are left with, I think, under about 5 cards or so. Yeah, 5 cards we are left with still alive, 4 of which are employee PMGs, and 1 of which is a Yzerman 95 gold medallion that we were just talking about. The Professor picked up the Caulfield. Very nice. Like I like Caulfield. I think he's, size-wise, he's like Zegras. I believe they're right around the same size, but I think Caulfield has a better game overall. And but hey, that's not to say that Zegras won't find something at some point too.
Yeah, Caulfield has a better pedigree. Like that's one thing that we recommend to people all the time too, and I'm sure you may do this too. If you just pick any player, Cole Caulfield, and Google Cole Caulfield stats, if you go into their NHL.com profile, and it pulls up by default their NHL stats, but there's a drop down that goes to all leagues. And for a lot of these guys, it'll take you back to every team they played on since they were 12 years old. But one of the things we look at, especially on the prospecting end, is what is their goal scoring pedigree? And Troy and I, we like to benchmark at least a half a goal per game, because if there's a guy that, we get infatuated with these rookies sometime, but if you look back and it's like, well, they've been playing organized hockey for 8 years now and they've never scored a half a goal a game, I really doubt it's going to happen in the NHL at that point, if they couldn't do it when they were in Bantams. So, that should be a sign. And it's not always a perfect indicator. Lafreniere, look at his pedigree. I mean, he was like lit up the CHL and hasn't exactly translated to the NHL. But you look back at Caulfield, and the dude has scored goals at every level he's played at his whole life. A lot of them.
Yeah. And he's shifty and he's little and but I think he's built pretty strong, for a littler guy. So I'm excited about his career ahead. Hobby Champs lets us know that there's only been 6 1995-96 hockey gold medallions from Fleer Ultra that have ever received a gem mint grade. So
wow,
that is rare territory right there for sure. 10 seconds left, guys. 10 seconds in this window. We could see all 4 remaining employee PMGs sell, leaving us with only the Yzerman gold medallion. 2 seconds now. Let's see what's going to happen here. It's about to update. It's updating. Give it a moment. And we have the Moritz Seider sells for $76.80. The Zegras $57.60. The Raymond $180. and the Byfield 6480. The final card to remain alive tonight is the Yzerman Gold Medallion at $37. Usually you need the bid to be higher to accommodate, being the final card surviving, because you need bids to be happening. But in this case, it didn't really matter. We are now into the 1 minute windows. So this is going to end here pretty quick, Josh, and then we're going to wrap this up. The Professor did not win the Nick Suzuki, fell behind in bidding. Sorry to hear. That would have been a nice card to pair with the Caulfield Professor because they are teammates, but there will be more opportunities if that is something that you would like to do in the future, is to pair those two up. Final 6 seconds for the Yzerman to get another bid here, everyone. Final opportunity. Will we see it happen? Doesn't look like it's going to have happened. Sold. $44.40. Guys, I have to make a quick announcement, everybody. Rage is in the building, everybody. Rage has entered the chat. Rage, welcome to the show. Bobby says if Cole Caulfield has a crazy Olympics and World Cup of hockey, his market could explode in America. Yeah, because he's American, isn't he? Cole Caulfield's a
he's from Wisconsin, player,
which is
a little bit of an issue.
An issue for you. Yeah,
a little bit of an issue for me because we have a little bit of a rivalry, but he is from Wisconsin.
Played
college at University of Wisconsin too.
So he's an issue for the Minnesotans, but the rest of the country might be happy to pick up some of his cards. And the Professor picked up the 2015 buyback Young Guns Gold Sam Reinhart rookie auto DNA 9. Congratulations on that edition as well, Professor. All right, well, let's do this really quick. Let's just sort these by highest price, and let's see what the big dogs of the auction were. The biggest one was the McDavid Honorable Numbers rookie year, does 8,700. Nice to see a little Sidney Crosby tie-in with number 87. The second one was the Gretzky Sportscaster, 4,320. Another McDavid. This is an auto exquisite rookie card, gold, sells for 3,360. Oh, look at this. We got 4 McDavids in the top 6 cards. The Young Gun does 2,760. The Team Canada RPA Tribute does 1,650. And the Ovechkin Ultimate Auto from his rookie year does 1,470. And you can just sort of glance at the rest of these as we scroll by. Oh, Hobby Champs. He won that one hockey card, an Yzerman 96 Via Player die cut auto. Congratulations to you on winning the one card that you were left in the game on. So congrats. Well, all right, Josh, I think that's about going to do it here. And, again, happy Mother's Day to all of your mothers, all of your wives, all of your daughters who might be mothers. Even your cats and dogs that might be mothers. Happy Mother's Day all around to everybody. And hope everyone had a nice day, and if you, especially if you have a mother, if you don't, our condolences go out on that too. It's never a fun time when these days pass and you are not really able to celebrate with that person. So condolences to those of you, but a happy Mother's Day, everyone who is still able to celebrate. Josh, any parting words or updates on anything going on the Gong Show?
No, just episode drops 3 a.m. And as always, interesting cards to look at. We had I think where there was Bobby who said the kind of interesting Russian cards tonight. So that was sort of the theme maybe that stood out to me.
Yeah, bit of a theme there for sure. Lapper says McDavid was the high sale. That doesn't sound right. Well, you know what, Lapper, I know you're being sarcastic there, but better him than Bedard right now. That would be concerning for the hobby of Bedard. If it was not a really special card, of course. And just a reminder, everybody, this Thursday is the end of this month's PWCC Premier Auction. So myself and Adam Gray will be going live Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific for the PWCC Premier Auction. Lots of big cards for sale in that one. And again, we will be live here on Thursday. So hope to see many of you guys back for that. Josh, with that, this episode. Well, before I say that, I just want to say happy Sunday night, everybody. Have a great week ahead. You have a new week coming up. Hope everyone has a good one. With that, this episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party on Sports Cards Live with Josh Madigan of the Hockey Cards Gongshow Podcast is Now,